I'm going to try this again. Get comfy. I usually sit with my legs crossed, sometimes with my knees bent kind of to the side. Once in a while, I will pull a low trunk over real close to the couch and put my feet up on that and have my knees up. Kind of use my knees to set the frame and help hold it up. So first thing, you want to make sure you have plenty of slack in the hoop. And you'll have this to start out with. You would have this kind of in the middle-ish of your quilt probably, and but depending on where you're the design or how you want to quilt this, I'm going to do straight lines. You don't have to start in the middle of your frame. You can actually start quilting wherever. And I actually did a little stitching earlier, but I'm going to just start over here and show you how to get started. So get a length of thread. Cut a length of thread so we can get our needle threaded, and I like to start with the end. I like to start with the end that I cut. So usually there's less fraying with that side. Okay, so come down about halfway or so, grab the end of your thread, bring it over, kind of grab it here, pinch it between the needle, your thumb, and do 1, 2, 3 to 4 loops. Kind of pinch it with your thumb, hold it real snug against the needle and all the way down the thread until you feel that knot form, and that is your quilter's knot. So I will trim that just a little bit, and then we're ready to start. So I'm going to come over here, and I put the thimble on, I just did that automatically. So I put this on this finger of my right hand, because I'm right-handed and this is the hand that I'm going to quilt with. So then this hand, my left hand is going to go underneath the hoop. I don't know if you can see, there's quite a few calluses here built up through years of quilting. So I'm going to get my hand over here on the left side under. I'm going to start by going between the layers. I want my needle to come up approximately halfway. So I'm going to come over here a little, an inch or so, and between the layers, and pull that real gentle. Kind of put my finger down here and help pop that thread through. Use your fingernail to close up the hole, and come down here and start. And you go straight down and kind of use your finger here with calluses. You might have to build some calluses up, obviously, but kind of use that finger to help guide that needle back, kind of push it back up and put pressure on the fabric of the needle, and you make a stitch. And you can make your stitch just as long as you want. Obviously not so long that things catch on it. And you can just do one stitch at a time until you kind of get the hang of it. Kind of figure out how long you want your stitches to be. And like I said, I'm just doing straight lines here, and I'm not marking them. I just kind of like the look of an organic straight line, and so I'm just eyeballing it. And when you get a little bit more comfortable, you can do 2 or 3 stitches on your needle and just kind of pull that through. You want to just do it steady and not be in a big hurry, because you don't want this thread to get all knotted and tangled up right here. So now I'm really close to the seam. I want to bring my thread over here. So I'm going to move my hoop because I can. I'll move it over here, and I'm going to make my last stitch. And then I want to bring my thread over here. So I'm going to come over here and between the layers again, because I want to hide that length of thread. And then I'm losing my clamp here because they're old. I use them pretty much until they wear out, and then I buy new clamps. Just keep the hoop. Anyway, so go back down this same exact hole, inside it, in between the layers. And I'm going to try to come down here halfway if I can. Get that far, bring the needle up, and kind of close that back up, your fingernail. Turn the hoop again over here, and then I'm going to quilt this time back towards me. So down, kind of push up, make a stitch, and I'm going to be quilting back towards me. So with the hoop in my lap, I rarely actually ever quilt side to side. So when you get a little knot like that, you just don't pull really super tight. You just kind of get your needle in there and just kind of help separate it, and then pull real gently. You pull tight, you're going to make a mess, and you don't want to do that. So then you get more comfortable. You can load a couple of stitches onto your thread, onto your needle rather, and so just try to learn what you want to do as far as length of your stitches and how far apart, and figure out what looks good to you. I think my stitches are actually shorter than they were when I first started pearl cotton, quilting with pearl cotton. As I've gotten to a more natural rhythm, I'm going to move my hoop again and see if I can get back over to the next place that I want to quilt. It's over here. So once again, I'm going to try to hide the thread as much as I can. Kind of close it up with your finger best you can. Try to go back exact same hole. Sometimes some fabrics tighter weave, it's a little more difficult. And normally I would try to go through, like this is a brown thread, I would try to go through this purple brown fabric, but I've already noticed from a little bit of quilting on this stitching on this quilt, that it's kind of a tighter weave and it doesn't always want to come back through that same hole. It's kind of resistant to that, so that's why I was avoiding it. But sometimes you just don't know until you try it. So then you come back up, and we're going to stitch away from us in a straightish line. And I don't know if you noticed, but this is not exactly halfway, and that sort of thing does not bother me. Like I said, I eyeball things. I just try to do my stitching and make it look cozy, really. And you can see that sometimes my stitches are not exactly straight, and that's the sort of thing that you're just going to have to figure out as you go. Some people have a rhythm where they have a little stitch that kind of goes off a little bit once in a while, and it's just part of their natural rhythm, and that's just something you're going to have to figure out for yourself if you